All right, today we're hitting glutes at home, and we're not going to use a band. We're not going to use any weights. We're just going to find different ways to put stress on that muscle so you don't need anything. So whether you're a man, woman, doesn't matter. Let's get after it. So we're going to take a classic exercise that most people inherently have a great connection to, make one little tweak, and amplify the contraction even more. So we have this machine in the gym that's pretty incredible. It's called the Gluteator. Basically what it does is it does hip abduction, but in a totally different way, because most machines, either they sit you too far forward and you get really a short range of motion, or they sit you too far back and then you actually feel your hip flexors start to jump in. What this thing does is put you on a different path altogether. So instead of coming directly out to the side, it actually comes in an arcing motion down and back. So we can mimic that same thing with hip thrusts by putting our feet completely together and pushing off the sides of our feet as we drive up. Now, if you're one of those people with such tight hip flexors that all you can feel when you do that movement is a stretch in those hip flexors, you don't really get a good connection to those glutes, then the way we can work around that and actually make it even harder is by doing single leg hip thrusts. And the way you make sure you get the most out of this movement is to make sure that quad doesn't jump in and try to take over. So what you can do is turn that foot 45 degrees, and that way it's going to open up that knee and make sure the glute does the bulk of the work. And the second thing is put that off leg completely straight, hold it off the ground the entire time, and that way you're working against the weight of that leg as you drive up. All right, so we're gonna finish off with 2 squat variations, and both of them suck. So the first one we can kind of categorize as a static abductor. So what you're gonna do is squat down as low as you can go without that butt tucking underneath, so still all that pressure's into your glutes, and then from there, you're just doing the abductions in and out. So really driving those knees in and out, opening up as much as you can. You know, this is nice if you have a band, you can throw that on too, but you don't need one, just because standing there and just doing that in place is gonna light up the side of those glutes. All right, so your hips should be greased up enough by this point to really pull this off. So what we're gonna do is a sumo squat with a 3-second hold at the bottom, 3-second positive, 3-second negative. Now the key on this is during that contraction, once you feel like you're tucking those hips underneath you and flexing those glutes to drive you up. That's the biggest mistake I see people make on any glute movement, is they don't actually flex their glutes to actually make a contraction happen. They just go through the movement. So what I want you to do is really try to actively flex your glutes to make you contract and make you move up. Don't just move through it. All right, so as always, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment on the video I may do next. Get after it, get growing. I'll talk to you soon.